Pexip Infinity uses URL paths to provide users with access to the web app. For each path, you can choose which web app version and branding package users are offered when accessing the web app via that path. There are default paths included for Web App 2, Web App 3, and the legacy Web App 1. You can create and configure additional paths to offer users a variety of differently branded web app experiences within your environment, while all being active at the same time. Out of the box, Web App 3 is selected as the default, but any of the configured paths can be set as the default. Organizations using Infinity can take advantage of multiple active web app brands. A simple example could be to have a brand for corporate internal usage, while also having a public-facing brand which customers use. In a large organization, different brands can represent different departments, each having their own unique look. To create a specific web app path and apply a branding package to it, go to Web App, Web App Paths. Then click on Add Web App Path. The first field is important, the path identifier. This is the text value that, when appended to the IP address or FQDN of a conference node or reverse proxy, will provide the URL used to access this branded version of the web app. For example, if users normally access the web app via webapp.example.com and you enter the value, sales, users will be able to access this branding via webapp.example.com/sales. Note that only alphanumeric, hyphen, and underscore characters may be used in this field. Add an optional description. Select the web app version used by this path. The web app bundle field can be left as default. Next, select the branding package to use with this path from the drop-down list. You may choose a custom branding package, or one of the default brands. We will select our custom brand. Ensure that Enabled is ticked to make it available. Leave it unticked to leave the path unpublished and not accessible to users. The last option allows you to set this path to be the default for the deployment. In our example, it is not yet intended to be the default, so it is left unticked. Click Save. Note that it will take up to 1 minute for the configuration to sync. You can test the new path created by opening a browser and entering the FQDN or IP address of a conference node, followed by a /, and then entering the path identifier which was entered previously. If successful, you should see the correct brand loaded in the browser. We will go through and quickly add 2 more paths, each uses a unique custom brand package. Once they have been added, we'll access these via a browser to verify that they were added successfully. We now have 3 custom web app paths available in our deployment. Each is available and each shows the correct brand when accessed. Currently, the system default web app path is used to access Web App 3. Let's change the default to use one of the custom paths we created. To do this, access the specific web app path you want to set as the default, then scroll down to the bottom of the page, ticking the option to set it as the default. Click Save to confirm the change. Looking at the list of configured web paths, the green tick in the column to indicate the default path indicates our custom path is selected as the system-wide default. To test out the default web path, use a browser and access the FQDN or IP address of a conference node. If successful, you should be seeing the custom branding path you had previously set as the default.